We have reached the point in this Golden State Warriors chokehold on the Western Conference where it turns spooky. The last team out west to deny the Warriors, technically, no longer exists. Yes, the LA Clippers are still right where they've always been. But all other traces of May 3, 2014, when they beat the Warriors in the first round of the playoffs, have turned to dust. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, J.J. Redick, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford, they're all gone. Usually, it's the loser who feels the cold repercussions and fallout of a first-round defeat in the playoffs. But what's often lost as the Warriors run the table in the West is how they've shattered so many teams, schemes and dreams along the way. In hindsight, 4 years ago was not the beginning of Lob City and the Clippers. It was the beginning of their end.The wreckage left behind by the Warriors over the ensuing 53 months underlines the undeniable truth: they've taken ownership of their very own West Side story. They had a record-setting 73-win regular season. They've won 12 straight West playoff series and 15 of 16 playoff series overall. Only twice, the West Finals in 2016 and 18, did they endure the indignity of needing to survive Game 7 in the West playoffs. In short, this dynasty shows no signs of dying the season. If anything, the argument can be made even before it's proven as fact that the 2018-19 Warriors are their most talented team yet. All-stars Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green and Klay Thompson welcomed a fifth, DeMarcus Cousins, to their mix this summer. That is not typical in the NBA, folks. This, Durant said, is going to be an exciting season. Fun. The Warriors' 5 All-Stars, 2 of whom are former Kia MVPs, are still in their prime. And given that Andre Iguodala tends to transform from a fossil to an X-factor when spring arrives, perhaps only injury or another uncontrollable circumstance will keep the Warriors from making it an NBA record 5 straight Western Conference crowns. In terms of encouraging each other, being in tune with some of the things that might be thrown at you, whether it's injuries, whether it's a couple of slumps on the court, whatever the case is, we adapt really well, and we don't stay down for too long, Curry said. The Rockets, who won 65 games a season ago, are perhaps the most realistic challenger to the Warriors out west. But it's quite possible that Houston is weaker than it was in 2017-18. To understand how high the Warriors are sitting on the throne, you must survey what they've left behind. Just look at how the biggest threats in the West have either hit dead ends or maxed themselves out trying to chase the Warriors since 2014. Memphis Grizzlies, at one point, they were considered the toughest matchup for the Warriors because they were polar opposite in style. Half-court and methodical, the Grizzlies took a switchblade to the basketball, slowing the tempo. And they exploited Golden State's lone weaknesses, interior size and overall strength. They physically beat up the Warriors in the paint, Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol, and on the perimeter, Tony Allen. Additionally, Mike Conley was at times a handful at point guard at a time when Curry was winning MVP awards. But health and age wore the Grizzlies down and eventually forced them into a current reinvention that likely won't reap benefits until after the Warriors are finished. Oklahoma City Thunder, as one of only 2 West teams, Houston being the other, to force the Warriors into a 7th game. OKC was primed for a takeover in 2016. That season, OKC eliminated a 67-win San Antonio Spurs team in the West Semifinals. Durant and Russell Westbrook were healthy, humming and helping the Thunder to a 3-1 lead in the West Finals. That, however, was their apex, and the costly collapse was heightened by the Klay game, 41 points in Game 6. Imagine, if not for a fateful turn of events, Klay's three-point rampage, KD's second-half Game 7 vapor, and the Warriors losing the 2016 Finals to Cleveland. Maybe Durant sticks around in OKC. At any rate, the post-2016 West Finals reconstruction being done by the Thunder, Exhibit A, the short-lived Carmelo Anthony experience, is falling short so far. Portland Trail Blazers, they were never seriously considered a thorn to the Warriors, and still aren't. It's just that they played themselves. They were fooled by the events in 2016, when they beat the injury-hampered Clippers in the first round. They were then somewhat competitive against the Warriors in the West semi-finals, winning one game by 12, losing another in OT and the elimination game by just 4. Flushed with false hope, that summer the Blazers handed out rich extensions to rotational players and, unfortunately, locked themselves into a team that hasn't won a playoff game since. San Antonio Spurs, like the Grizzlies, the Spurs caused trouble for the Warriors because of their disciplined style that put the brakes on the pace. San Antonio ruled the West just prior to the Warriors' run, and the proud franchise wasn't willing to relinquish its hold so easily, causing the Warriors to shiver by winning the regular season matchup from 2014-16. Still, like Memphis, the Spurs turned gray almost overnight. Tim Duncan retired, Tony Parker lost some zip, and then, of course, came the sneaky Zaza Pachulia footplant that coed Kawhi Leonard in the first game of their 2017 series. It hasn't been the same for the Spurs, who shipped off the disgruntled Leonard this summer. Houston Rockets, while the Warriors were able to build around Curry to create a dynasty, the Rockets are in their third attempt to do likewise with James Harden. The Dwight Howard experiment was an exploding cigar, and then the strategy of turning Harden into a point guard failed to draw blood. Chris Paul arrived last season and the best record in the West followed, but Paul has always limped at the wrong time. True to form, his body failed him in the conference finals, just when the Rockets were up 3-2 on the Warriors and primed to issue a stunning statement. The conference-wide process of teams searching for the formula to bring an end to this golden era has taken on an interesting twist. Except for the Rockets, who shuffled their deck slightly this summer, other West contenders are on a semi-defeatist two-year plan. As in, we're not ready now, but look out in a couple of years. LeBron James joined the Lakers this summer, but it's hard to take them seriously when LeBron himself says his new team isn't breathing the same air as the defending champs. His supporting cast is a mix of pups with no playoff experience and vets who have seen better days. It's foolhardy to doubt the potential of any team with LeBron. 8 straight trips to the championship round is no joke, even if it came through the East. But they'll stand a better chance next season, especially if they're bringing Kawhi or Jimmy Butler by then. There's also the Utah Jazz, a Spurs-like operation led by a pair of Spurs alums in GM Dennis Lindsey and coach Quinn Snyder. Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell is a star in the making, but you need more than one of those to match Golden State. Perhaps in time, Mitchell will get a shotgun rider, but Utah is a tough sell for A-list free agents. Houston stands out from the pack with Harden, Paul and center Clint Capella, who gave the Warriors fits last spring. They're still an attractive, turnkey team. Adding Anthony provides scoring, but does he impact a potential West Finals rematch in 2019? With Trevor Ariza and Luke Mbah outgone, where is the perimeter defense coming from? Is it possible that Houston, with Paul aging, had its best chance last spring and didn't cash in? It's also possible the Warriors will do everyone in the West a favor and destroy themselves in the very near future. Durant can become a free agent next summer. Thompson's contract is up too, although he's been very clear about his preference to stay, even if that means making below market value. What's happening right now is going to be really tough to replicate for anybody, Warriors coach Steve Kerr said. You have the proverbial window, however you want to put it. We have an incredible opportunity that's just not always going to be here. We want to take full advantage, not only from a success standpoint, but from an enjoyment standpoint. We're well aware that it's not going to last forever. But that's getting ahead of the story here, which is whether the Warriors will fall shy of the finals for the first time since 2014. A three-time champion is bringing everyone back and will have a bonus whenever the healing Cousins returns. Basketball can sometimes be a funny game, and anything can happen to throw this scenario for a loop. Until then, however, it's hard to imagine anything derailing another season of Warriors dominance.